Hey gamers, Steely here, and today I have a guide for you on Wintertodt. I previously made this guide back in 2024, however a lot has changed since the update and I never bothered to go and check it out. Until now. So this is a brand new Wintertodt guide designed to take you through the minigame and provide some information on the updated changes. Honestly, the update was incredible for smoothing out the gameplay here and making this activity a lot more chill. So let's dive right into it. Overall, you don't need much for this minigame. You'll need to have 50 firemaking in order to access it, and completion of the Druidic Ritual quest is recommended to make Rejuvenation Potions. If for some reason you have not done this quest, you can also have Bruma make them for you, but it is a nice little bit of extra Herblore XP if you simply do it yourself. You'll also want to have purchased a player-owned house in order to get construction XP from fixing the braziers. And you'll want a hammer, tinderbox, knife, and an axe, all of which is available in the game entrance. Lastly, and most importantly, you will need 4 pieces of warm clothing. Warm clothing is super easy to get, so there's really no reason you'll have a hard time finding it, and this minigame becomes significantly more annoying without it. I'll throw the wiki link in the description, but there are 10 different outfits and dozens of other individual items that have almost no requirements to get, and all of them will classify as warm clothing, so make sure you get your hands on these before coming here. As a side note, if you have an HP cape and you can get your hands on a regen bracelet, you basically become invincible in here. I camped for over 3 hours straight at the Wintertodt solo and never had to heal myself once using these 2 items. They are wildly overpowered here, so if you can happen to get your hands on them, they will make a world of difference. The best way to get here is just to grab a games necklace and tele straight to the Wintertodt. If for some reason you cannot get a games necklace, which I absolutely can't imagine why, then you can also use a fairy ring CIS or the Arceus library teleport and simply run north. Room layout is fairly simple. It's a giant square. In each corner of the square, you will find a pyromancer, a brazier, and a tree which will give you bruma roots when chopped. You'll also find sprouting roots throughout the room, which will give you bruma herbs that you'll need to combine with the concoctions in the crate at the front of the room to make a rejuvenation potion. The name of the game is simple. Keep the braziers lit and the pyromancers healed to deal damage to the Wintertodt. To rack up points in this activity, you want to chop and feed the fire with the bruma roots. You can do this in their log form, or you can fletch them down to kindling for even more points when added to the fire. You'll also get points every time you fix a brazier, light the brazier, or heal a pyromancer with a rejuvenation potion. The warmth meter is essentially your health bar. If it hits 0, you die. Having warm clothing will help to reduce the damage to your warmth meter from the Wintertodt, and you can also heal by drinking the rejuvenation potions, so gone are the days of needing cakes, brews, and pineapple pizzas. You can still use food to heal, but in my opinion it's pointless, since it's a waste of supplies and you can just drink these rejuvenation potions. This might be my favorite change to the minigame, as you no longer need any supplies to get started here. Everything you need is in the minigame, which is awesome, especially for Ironman. As a side note for you Ironman accounts, if you're a hardcore Ironman, a Ring of Life will protect you from death here. If your warmth meter drops below 10% with a Ring of Life on, it will activate and restore your warmth meter. So if you're looking for a safeguard, this would be my recommendation. Periodically, the Wintertodt will use a special attack that essentially just throws snow at you. This falls from above and will damage your character. The easiest way to negate this attack entirely is to stand on the tiles that I have marked. If you're standing next to edges or between objects, the snow cannot fall on you, which means this special attack is essentially removed from having to be dealt with if you're standing in the right spot. Braziers can be put out by the Wintertodt in one of 2 ways. The Wintertodt will simply sprinkle some snow on the brazier and it will go out. At this point, all you need to do is relight it. The second way is that the Wintertodt will drop a massive snowfall on the brazier, which causes it to explode. When this happens, it will damage the pyromancer and damage you if you're standing within one tile. So when you see the snowfall, you should step out of the way to protect yourself. You'll then need to use your hammer to fix the broken brazier. I personally use an Imcando hammer to save up on inventory space, and if you're interested in acquiring one, check out my other guide on the runes of Camdozel. Once it's fixed, you can relight it and continue feeding it. If the pyromancer was downed by this attack or gets downed by snow sprinkles, simply use the Rejuvenation Potion on them to heal them. In the corner of your screen, you will notice two bars. One for your warmth meter, which indicates your HP, and one for the Wintertot's energy, which is essentially the Wintertot's HP. You'll also see a compass that gives you the status on each pyromancer and the braziers in the room. A construction symbol means that the brazier is broken. A kindling symbol means that it is unlit, and a little red wizard hat indicates a downed pyromancer. You can have any of these icons solo or a combination of them, which means there are multiple issues. If there is a little fire-making symbol, that means the brazier is lit and damaging the Wintertodt. Keep an eye on these indicators to know what is happening around the room. There is also a points indicator as well. Previously, before the update, you had a max point limit of 13,500. However, with the addition of the rewards cart, that limit is no longer present. You can farm for as many points per game as you'd like, and I've gone over 20,000 points and still received rewards, which is nice from a camping standpoint if you're using the solo method. Once the room is set up, you can effectively stay there infinitely. You will max out at 8,000 total rewards, but the time that it would take to get there in a single game would be astronomical, so I wouldn't worry too much about that. If you're playing this minigame on RuneLite, make sure to download the Wintertodt Plug-in, as this will provide a useful idle screen indicator on the side of your screen, as well as give you customizable notifications for any in-game situation that halt action, which is super useful, especially from a solo and AFK standpoint. And that is really all you need to know in terms of the game mechanics. It's a simple minigame, and if done correctly, it can be super chill, and will net you between 150 to 400k firemaking XP an hour, depending on your firemaking levels and the methods you choose. If you are going for firemaking XP only, it is recommended to use mass worlds. Don't fletch the logs into kindling and simply burn them. If you're going for points or rewards, you should run the solo method, and chop, fletch, and burn the logs to optimize the points. I'm going to cover both methods in this video, so you can see the difference. To run Mass World Wintertodt for Firemaking XP, head over to World 307, 309, 311, or 389. From there, jump into the game and try and leave as much inventory room as possible. Once the game starts, go straight for broomer roots and start chopping until you have a full inventory. Proceed to the braziers and begin feeding them. Only fix or relight the braziers if they go out, and don't worry about the pyromancer. In my experience in Mass Worlds, there is always someone healing them, so you should be fine without it. Now all you have to do is simply camp this strategy until the fight is over. Make sure that you do get at least 500 points in order to get rewards, and you'll net yourself anywhere from 150 to 400k firemaking XP an hour. As a side note, I use Entity Hider on Mass Worlds to hide other players and pets, as I find the chaos of it all to be quite distracting. So if you like a cleaner screen, go ahead and engage the Entity Hider plugin. It's amazing for this. To do the solo method, you'll first need to set up a room. To set up a room, grab between 5 to 10 Rejuvenation Potions for your inventory. I usually take about 6, and if you have 60 agility, you can use the shortcut at the back of the room, which means you can simply run a full circle at the start. If you do not have 60 agility, you'll need to run a U-shape. Start off by finding a fresh world. This is indicated by your map with 4 kindling piles on the indicator and a Wintertodt that has 100% energy. Begin by lighting all 4 braziers and then proceeding to the bruma roots in the south side of the room and cutting an inventory of logs. Begin fletching these logs while camping the south side braziers. You want to keep 2 braziers lit until the Wintertodt reaches 10% energy. If you finish fletching your inventory of logs, you can begin feeding the fires while monitoring both braziers and keeping them both lit. Once you've got the Wintertodt at 10% energy, you can focus on a single brazier only. Keep things as chill as possible, you'll want to fluctuate the Wintertodt between 5 to 10% energy. At this energy level, you vastly reduce the Wintertodt special attacks, which means the fight is a lot more brain dead and chill overall. From here, simply cut your bruma logs, fletch them to kindling, feed them into the fire, and balance keeping the pyromancer healed and the fire lit to keep the Wintertott's energy between that 5 to 10%. Now you can simply sit here and farm points and Firemaking XP infinitely. Periodically, you'll need to replenish your Rejuvenation Potions, but other than that, there are no changes to gameplay from here on out until you decide that you want to kill the Wintertodt. At that point, simply keep your brazier lit at all times until the Wintertott's energy drops to 0%. If you're finding that this is taking a while, you can also light a second one to speed up the process. While doing this method is super chill, I still average around 200k Firemaking XP an hour, and I can easily farm for dozens of reward points per hour. So break out some sick anime or your favorite TV show, turn your notifications on using the Wintertodt plugin, and get ready to start harvesting some massive reward points. On that note, the last thing to cover in this video is the rewards themselves. The rewards from the reward cart scale based off your skill level. The higher your firemaking, the better chance you have at pulling rare items from the cart. On the screen now is the full list of rewards, with the rare items you are going for being all of the collection log items, which include the Pyromancer outfit, the Bruma torch, the Tome of Fire, the Phoenix pet, and the Dragon axe. You can search for rewards at the cart next to the bank, and can search one permit at a time, or big search to obtain all permits available until your inventory is full. It is also important to note that if you get any duplicate items from the Pyromancer outfit, you can trade them to Ignitia for a rewards crate instead. And that is everything you really need to know about Wintertodt and the updated changes. I personally enjoy Wintertodt. It's a chilled out, laid back minigame which you can cruise for substantial Firemaking XP per hour. You also get a ton of passive fletching, woodcutting, and herblore XP, which is pretty sweet, as well as the little bit of construction XP you get from fixing the braziers. If you found this video helpful, don't be a straight up noob. Throw down some appreciation and click some buttons for me. It would make a world of difference, and it literally costs you nothing. As always, thanks so much for watching. Good luck, gamers.